We're thrilled to have you, and I'm sure everyone's very comfortable with Zoom by now, but we would ask that you mute your microphones throughout the meeting. It just helps with feedback. And the class will run pretty much the entire hour, and it will be recorded. So you're welcome to turn off your video if you don't feel comfortable being part of that. Whatever's most comfortable for you is fine with us. And if you are interested in reviewing, taking a look back at the recording or sharing it with others, it'll be available on our website early next week. So that's something that we would encourage you to share if friends and colleagues weren't able to attend in person today. So let's get into it. This session will be led, like I said, by NK Gutiérrez, whose professional career in fitness began in 2009 when she became a FitStart Coach at her local gym. She took the job to help guide and inspire others who felt the need to make a positive life change, but had no idea how to begin their journey. Today, NK uses her life experiences coupled with her BA in psychology to help her clients break through mental barriers that prevent them from reaching their physical goals. NK is an American Council on Exercise certified group fitness instructor and a National Council of Sport and Fitness certified personal trainer, as well as a certified Zumba, Pilates Pro, Bender Bar Method, Bar Pro, and yoga instructor. She is very impressive and lovely, and we cannot wait to have this class with her. So I am going to kick it off to NK, who will take it from here.
Good morning, beautiful human beings. I hope everyone's doing as well as they are able in this very tumultuous and time of reckoning and realizing and processing. I am also, in addition to those things, my whole platform is always that of inclusivity. I have my own athleisure line called Thickletic. You can go to iamthickletic.com and follow us on the grams and books at I Am Thickletic. Everything is an I am statement. Thickletic is an athleisure line that was founded to elevate the conversation around wellness inclusivity by cultivating conversation, clothing, and community. It was something that was born from my heart because as an instructor, I'm a multidisciplinary artist. Aside from all those things I do, I'm a filmmaker, I'm an actor, been a makeup artist for over 20 years, 25 years, I'm older than I look. And with that being said, I also went to private white school, and I know what it is like to be the first, the only, the different at everything I do. And that was no different when it came to fitness either. I'm not a size 2. I'm fit. I don't see images that look like me in size or color in the spaces that I'm in the spaces I'm teaching in. In 2017, I was like, I've had enough. And I ventured out to trademark my own line, Thickletic. It took 2 years because 9 days after I put my trademark in, someone else put in for the same name. So it took 2 years. So get in action. And that's what we're going to talk about, getting in action and feeling and trusting your gut and getting in action and getting out of your own way. Because if I hadn't moved on that day, and it was a day on my birthday, I woke up, I was like, that's the name. And I get this voice like, trademark it. And I'm like, how do I do that? And I went to YouTube University and figured it out. And I'm glad I did. And in that 2 years, I did it on my own without any legal representation. So it is possible. It's possible to get out of our own way. It's possible to learn things we never thought we'd have to. All of these things are possible. What is also inherently true about that is it's not easy and it's not comfortable. And it's especially not comfortable and fun to have to look at how you've been in your own way. And that happens in every single part of your life and how you've been the person that's contributing to a hell of your own making. And how really whatever it is that you want, you have the power to create, right? You have the power to create things. The way we look at the world, the way we move, the way we get in action, the way we first and foremost look at ourselves. So that's what I want to talk about, and all of that, and saying that we have the power to create that. It's very, very evident. If it's not evident to you right by now, I don't know how else one would make it clear for you that there's a very vast difference about the level of persistence it takes, if persistence alone will get you there, as a Black person, to have what white people have in this world, to be in a system where it's set up for us to fail. And It's also not easy because I got lots of white friends. Like I said, I'm in white spaces all the time. So I have lots of white friends and allies that are truly my friends, who are truly non-racist, who truly are doing the work. And some that have not also have had to get present to how they haven't been actively non-racist. And that also is a very painful thing to have to look at. It's a painful thing to have to look at how you sat next to your Black brother or sister every day and worked with them every day and have actively chosen, whether you realize it or even passively chosen, I guess I will say, I'll give you that, to not see their pain. How did you sit there and not see their pain? How did you sit there and let the joke go by, or that they should have got promoted go by? How did you sit there and do that when you're a good person, when you love them with all of your heart, they're in your lives, and you sat there? And those are questions you're going to have to ask yourself. And in doing that, and I believe in this for everybody, also having grace for yourself, because if you don't have grace for yourself and you beat yourself up and you're just like, oh my God, I'm such a horrible person, I'm scared and I don't know what to do, you just won't do anything. It's just going to confound your ability to get in action. And as I just talked about, if you don't get in action, nothing changes this. And you know this as educators, right? You have to keep moving, you have to keep active, you have to keep your students engaged. If you're sitting there, you're not moving, you're not learning, you're not going forward. And here's the thing about going forward: walking, crawling, running, it's all moving. So I've had so many people in my inbox asking how they can, be better or whatever. And it's like, and so many, I'm sure you've seen so many Black people saying, it's not my job to educate you, which it's not. And for me, I hold a space. I know part of my gift is being a teacher. So I take that on because I know that I have the gift of making things that seem so complex really easy, right? And for all of you who are teachers, I'm sure, that's the gift, is to take something that's complex and break it down so that anybody can understand it. And so I am happy to take that on and take up space as it, in the space that it doesn't take away from me. And with that being said, like I said, on I Am Thickletic, I also encourage you to follow me on all things NK, because every week I'm giving talks and bringing people on about covert racism. And this past week, I brought my white boss on that used to be at the studio that closed, and had a conversation about how she quickly got in action when I told her that someone was being racist, and just did something about it and just believed me. But I encourage you to watch it because it just shows you how simple it can be. And I'm not going to spend all the time talking about that because you're going to go do your own work. So I'm going to give you that. But why I want to talk about this, because as a Black woman, I have had my tipping point, and there's not a day that I will not speak on this, that we are in the midst of a revolution. You get to decide right now what side of history you're going to be on. And I will stay in action and use my platform to talk about this every single day, until I walk in a door and I'm treated the way every other person is, until I don't have to pray the same prayers that my mother and people's fathers had to pray, that their Black bodies would be safe on these streets. So that's where I am with that. And I hope you take that on in your space, however you're able. And it can be as simple as starting a conversation when you know it's just not right. So when something shows up for you and you know it's just not right, and your instinct's like, ooh, that seems inappropriate, that doesn't feel good, have a look at it. So with that being said, when we have a look at these things, and you have to start to look at how, your own, in order to go out and educate, this first and foremost, you got to know the material. You have to understand what's there. So that with this kind of material, it requires you to look in first. How have I been a part of this problem? How have I propped it up? Even for me as a Black woman, obviously I did it for survival, so I wouldn't lose jobs, so I wouldn't be unpalatable, so that I could move forward. But also, like, what am I going to do now to be brave enough to no longer let it be? And where are the spaces where I've also copped out? What is that for me? And having to look at that, excuse me, and it's painful work. It is painful work to have to really dig in. And in that pain, it's going to show up in your body. You're going to feel it on your heart. You're going to feel it on your shoulders. You're going to feel it on your hips. You're going to feel it coming out. You're going to feel embarrassed. You're going to, for those of you who look at where you've been propping it up and you're just like, oh my gosh, what do I do now? Crawl in a hole and die? No, don't, because we need you. Get present to it, and just like anything else, do the work. Do the work of checking your heart space and checking how you'll be brave enough to not allow it to happen anymore, and to be willing to lose your seat at the table of white supremacy and the privilege that it's afforded you. And all the body things that come up with that. So that means staying moving. You know, I've always said to my clients when they come in, I was like, it's not meant to be easy, it's meant to be effective. So you got to remember that. And when you're working out and you're moving your body, everything that's showing up on the mat for you, on the machine, because I teach on a Pilates machine as well, on the reformer, is showing up in your life. So however you're moving and however you're showing up for yourself in your workouts is also how you're showing up in your life. I guarantee you. So if you stop right when it gets hard, I guarantee you that's what you're doing when you get out into the world. If you don't listen to your body and you're so type A personality and you have to do it perfectly and you have to be the best one in the room, even to the point of exhaustion and hurting yourself, that's how you're showing up in the room. Also not good, because they're in the world, because that has a point where it will no longer work, where your body will give out, your mind will give out, your spirit will give out. It's not sustainable. So we just have to really look at the reasons and the whys. What's really there, start digging into the reasons and the whys. And you dig into the reasons and the whys so simply of how you're moving your body and what is coming up in your mind, it will help you. It will really help you to figure out what your next best steps are off of the mat, outside of the fitness world, outside of your workout. You know, I encourage everybody to always move. And I know that, for a lot of people, it's been difficult in this time, myself included. There's been so much going on that it becomes difficult to show up for yourself. And we have to continue to hold ourselves accountable to show up for ourselves so that we can show up in the world. So with that being said, what we're going to do today, I'm going to teach you some Pilates, and I'm going to infuse that with some yoga, some meditation and breath work, because I think we all need it, because we're all doing hard work, right? So if you do not, I'm going to be using some sliding discs, workout discs. If you don't know what they are, you probably don't have them, and that's okay. But I'm sure you have 2 hand towels, and I'm going to need you to get a set of hand weights. And if you're like, I don't have hand weights, I'm just coming here, get yourself some hand goods. Yeah, it took the words out of my mouth, Monique. Go get some hand goods. Canned goods, yeah. Just make sure that the ounces are the same on both of the canned goods. I don't suggest wine bottles because it's going to be too heavy for what we're doing. I want it to be lighter. Just light hand weights. But so we're gonna breathe, we're gonna sweat, and we're gonna feel the feelings, because remember, in order to do, we must first be. So we're gonna be with our feelings, we're gonna be with whatever comes up, and know that you are brave, you are strong, and you are capable of getting to the other side of that. One breath at a time. I always say poco a poco, paso a paso, little by little, step by step. And that's all it is. That's what this life is. So in all of this, that is the one thing that has not changed. It's always little by little, step by step. How can I do better today? So now I'm going to pull back. We're going to do some breath work so you can find yourself a nice little cozy seat. If you have a towel or something you want to prop yourself up on, or a blanket, feel free to do that, or you can just sit wherever you are comfortably. Okay? Also, in this last minute thing while you get prepared, there is a playlist on my I Am Thickletic and All Things NK. It's a Spotify playlist. I have a Thickletic playlist, and that's going to be for when we get really moving. There's also a yoga playlist, so that's available to you in the link tree. So the sliding discs look like this, but again, 2 little hand towels will do you just fine. Find yourself a comfortable seat. Bringing my water with me because I've been really dehydrated doing this work for the protest. So find yourself a comfortable seat and just find it easy. If you're propped up on something, even if you're not, I invite you to bring your left heel down in front of your belly button, and then your right heel just in front of that, and drop your knees down. And then we're going to stack our spine and just take some nice deep breaths. So the first thing I want you to do is to feel your sits bones rooted into the earth. So just really take a moment to start to feel your booty cheeks, that I call yum-yums, into the earth. And then beyond that, I want you to actually feel the bones start to drag down into the earth. Keep those hips stacked. And then I want you, before we move anywhere, to pull up on your pelvic floor, your Mula Bandha. So I want you to imagine that you had a couple of ventis right before you met me on this mat, and you're never getting out. You're never getting off of this mat. You're never getting out of this space. So from the tip of your pubic bone all the way through your tailbone, I need you to zip up number 1 and number 2. And I want you to really consider squeezing your belly just below your belly button as tight as you can into your spine. And then I want you to do it. So I say consider it. I want you to think about what that looks like. And then I want you to exercise that. And then I want you to pull into your belly button. I want you to lift up out of your waist. So we're going to squeeze our ribs in towards center line, and then we're going to lift our lower ribs away from that contraction we just created. Now, as you do this, have a look at your shoulders. Are they in your ears? Drop them down. So this pelvic floor contraction, I call the Starbucks muscles. That's why I said like you had a couple of ventis. So whenever you hear me refer to Starbucks muscles, Mula Bandha, synonyms, both the same thing. Your pelvic floor, zip it up. Now, let's take some shoulder rolls forward and forward. One more big roll forward. And then we roll back and back and back. Drop those shoulders down away from the ears. Take your left hand, put it on your heart center. Take your right hand and bring it just to your belly button. And I want you to start to breathe. I invite you to shut your lips down and breathe just to the nose for a couple of breaths. Your next inhalation comes down into the body. I want you to notice where it stops. Does it stop closer to your left hand or your right hand? No judgment, there's no good or bad, I just want an observation. And I want you to consider your body, your torso, from your throat all the way down through your Mula Bandha pelvic floor as a staircase. Starts right at the throat entry and goes all the way down into your pelvic floor, your Starbucks muscles, your basement. Before we move into this breath work, I want you to take 3 sighs out. So we're going to inhale through the nose. Through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Don't be shy, I can't hear you, so make it audible. Don't care how you sound. Let the feelings come out. That's how I feel. Now shutting those lips back down and working to keep that breath just in and out through the nose. Considering where your breath was stopping the last time you observed it, a couple of breaths ago. I want you to think about now where it stands on the staircase. Which stair is it getting down to? And as you observe where it's moving down to, I want you then to start to walk down the stairs with each and every inhalation. I want you to get a little further into your basement. And we're going to do some work down there. Excavate some things. And as you continue to walk down these stairs, I want you to do it with the spirit of curiosity. A curiosity for what might be there. What you might find in that old box in the back. And today we're going to have the bravery to start to pull some of those boxes forward and open them up. And feel it, continue to feel your belly and your heart center rise with each inhalation into your palms. And you'll notice the higher you rise, the deeper you'll be able to walk down the stairs. And then as you exhale, I want you to be mindful of getting each and every breath, every sip out of the lungs. Now as we step into that basement, or as close as you can get to it this morning, it's this afternoon, wow, as time goes. I want you to start to see what's down there. Just observe what comes up in your mind. For me, I see brown boxes stacked. Not a lot of them, but a fair amount. Kind of dusty down there. See a couple of cobwebs. You know, whatever comes up for you, there is no right or wrong. And as you continue your breath, I want you to look at what pulls your focus. Find one thing that pulls your focus, that just gets you curious. And you may not even know why, but you're like, wow. And I want you to walk your breath to that. You just stand there. Stand there with whatever it is that's pulling your curiosity. And if you're here and you're like, I see nothing at all, NK, that's okay too. There is no right or wrong. Just stay with your breath. Feel your heart center, feel your lower pelvic floor continue to stay engaged. Are your Starbucks muscles still engaged? They should be. And you sit up a little higher. You lengthen that spine a little more, making more space for oxygenated air to get into all sides of your lungs, front, backs, and sides. Wherever you are, it is enough. As you stand here with your curious self, whatever that is that's pulling your focus, I want you to start to open it up. And as you open it up, I want you to observe if you see anything, or as you open it up, is it just a feeling that you get? Tingling in your brain, something very specific that comes to mind. So it doesn't have to be in the tangible, pick it up out of the box form. It might just be a feeling that comes up when you open the box. Get curious into whatever it is that pulls your focus. I want you to do your best to make it tangible, to make it something that you can physically feel and see. And I want you to just sit with it. I want you to breathe and see where your body is in all of this observation. Where is your mind? Is it racing? Is it not able to even focus on that? Is it questioning what the hell are we doing? All natural things to come up. And let it come up. Don't judge yourself for it. Now, as you sit with this box and all the other things that are down there in your basement, excuse me. I want you to really give yourself permission to absorb and observe maybe feelings of overwhelm, like, God, there's so many boxes down here, where do I begin? Maybe it's, well, there's only this one box left, I've been doing the work or whatever it is, and it's only this one box left, but I don't even want to deal with that box. I don't want to deal with that thing. And honor that. And then start to get present to the impact of what it might mean to never get in action and deal with any of it, versus the impact of taking a moment every day and walking down into your basement and maybe just sitting with the thing, but observing it, not turning a blind eye to the fact that it's there. Until you get brave enough to dig in. Every day, just showing up for yourself to see what's there and what it'll feel like when you see these boxes all attended to, touched, gone through, organized, throwing the junk that no longer serves you away, and filing and keeping the good stuff. Whatever it is that you put down there, because it needs to be there, it's important. Can't be thrown away. Something you might have to refer to later. Something that has served you, something that means something to you, something that is beautiful. And right now you just don't know where to put it, right? And we were talking about this charge that we might feel, that all of us are probably feeling. Don't know what to do with this charge, don't know what to do with this energy, don't know what to do. And a lot of times what we do when we don't know what to do, we just throw it in the box and I don't know what to do that right now. So you got your junk drawer, your junk corner, or whatever it is, the closet you will not open because there's just things there that you know that need to be attended to, but you just don't want to deal with it. So what happens when that charge comes up, right? What happens when these intrusive images that we've been seeing and having to get present to the realities of our situations, the reality of the world, the brothers and sisters, your Black brothers and sisters are living in, and the reality of how you fit into it. And like, oh my gosh, I'm so angry, I'm so hurt, I'm so frustrated, what do I do with all of that? And I can speak firsthand as an expert in understanding that feeling, because as a Black woman, these images aren't new to me, and I've always had to figure out how am I going to move on to the next day and just put it in a box and put it away because I can't feel it. So if I feel it, it's going to be too much to allow me to move forward. What I now know to be true is that I have the power to feel whatever I need to feel and to move through it with strength and dignity. And so do you, my friends. So do you, my brothers and sisters. Whatever might be there for you, whatever's in that basement, race-related or otherwise, you are strong enough, you are capable, and you are ready. And I can speak confidently enough to you to be ready, because whatever it is that pulled your focus, whatever it is that pulled your curiosity, that's the first thing you're ready to deal with. So as we move into our practice, and we move through this work, I want you to just kind of let that be there. Stay down there with that. Just be with it. Do whatever feels natural in your mind, body, spirit with it. And just be brave enough to be with it, because right now you're not alone. You're never alone. And right now we hold space together to do this very specific work. So keep breathing deep. Keep staying curious. Remove your hands and your heart from your body. I want you to take a nice deep inhalation and float those hands up towards the sky. Reaching, feeling the earth sitting beneath you, the sky rising above you. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, bring all that bravery into the sky, shoot it up from Mother Earth. Exhale, let all that does not serve you start to fall away. One more big collective breath. We inhale, we float it up. This time we exhale, we come onto all fours. So move into your all fours. And we're just going to come into a little cat and cow. So first I want you to open up Fingers nice and wide, New York to LA. Plant them onto the earth. Shoulders stacked just above your wrists. Knees are just below the hips. Take a peek between your knees. If you can see your toes, open your feet wide enough to where you no longer can. And then I want you to tuck your toes under because I want you to get a nice stretch in the bottoms of those feet. Now as we inhale, we're going to bring our heart center slightly forward. And we're going to drop our belly down, keeping that Mula Bandha, pelvic floor, Starbucks muscles completely engaged. Reach your heart center through your shoulders. And then as you exhale and you come into cow, I want you to sit back onto those heels, squeezing belly in, draw chin to chest, draw shoulders down, hollow out that belly. Inhale, bring it forward, just in front of those wrists with the heart center. Tail comes up, belly stays strong as you press the heart center forward and it drops down. So often when we drop this belly down in cow, we think that we just let it all go. Keep engagement as you press forward so you can feel that stretch. 2 more breath cycles just like that. We exhale, we sit it back, chin to chest. Little angry Halloween cat here. Inhale it forward. Exhale it back. Last breath cycle right here at your own pace. Inhale down into that basement. As you exhale, squeeze each and every bit of breath out of that body. Our next inhalation is going to lift our hips up and drop our heels down, bringing us right into our first downward facing dog of the afternoon. Just pedal out the hips. Pedal out the hips, draw the shoulders away from the ears. Now as you do this, I want you to squeeze your armpits to body like I just put 2 little magazines in between your armpits and you can't drop them. And then I want you to squeeze your belly in and get your spine as long as possible, but draw your hips back and let your head drop. And I want you to take some nods of the head, yes, here. And then shake your head now. From here, we're going to come into our inhalation, just like we did with our cat-cow. And I walked my hand forward a little bit. You're going to come into a high plank on your inhalation. And as you exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, high plank, hold. And breathe. I'm gonna hold and breathe here. Have a look at who's, I'm a stickler for form. So here's the thing about your high plank. If you're like, oh, heck no, NK, come onto your knees. No problem, come onto your knees. And you can do it right there. But before you come onto knees, I offer you the idea of staying on your hands and your toes and just opening your feet really wide. Can you open your feet really wide? By doing that, it's going to give more space in the body and it's going to take some pressure off of your core and kind of distribute it a little more. I know you're still there. Don't worry. Keep breathing. Remember, it's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be effective. So now if all of those things aren't working for you, feel free to come down. If it's just like you feel okay here, but your wrists and your shoulders are killing you, try your forearms. Give your forearms a go. So many options. Giving up is not on the menu. We persist. We stay with it. We be. So as we continue to be with ourselves for another 15 seconds, let's go. Come on. I want you to see where your mind goes. Wherever your mind goes, your body follows. You're not going to judge it. I just want you to observe it. What are the words that are coming out? What are you telling yourself? 5 seconds right here. Let's go. 4, 3, 2. Press back into your downward facing dog and start to walk your feet forward until you're in your forward fold. From here, we're going to grab opposite elbows. You can stay static, or if it serves, you can sway it left to right, left to right, left to right. Release those elbows, Squeeze belly in. Keep your chin with your chest. And I want you to slowly start to roll up, one vertebra at a time. Your chin is the last to rise. Take a big shoulder roll back right here. All right. So, if you have a mat, I want you to fold it in half, towel, whatever it is you might have. And then I want you to take your hand towels or your discs, and you're going to step the ball mount of your foot onto them. Take a nice deep inhalation, both the hands back up, and you're going to see a rendition of what we just did. Take that forward fold. As you take your forward fold, make sure you're squeezing your Starbucks muscles and your low belly to help support your low back. Come back out into your high plank. Squeezing belly in. We're going to take a mountain climber on your slides. Right knee, left knee. Right knee, left knee. Right knee, left knee. Slide it, let's see. Remember, this can also be done on your forearms. If you're like NK, you've lost your mind. If there's any injuries that I need to know about, and I should have asked this earlier, I apologize. Please just put them up in the chat. I can give you a million modifications. You know your body better than I do. Differentiate between sharp pain and discomfort. I know you're still there, give me 15 seconds. So if you're in sharp pain, stop. If it's just, this is hard, oh my God, I feel tired. This lady's crazy, I didn't know it was gonna be all that. Keep going, it's good for you. Keep going, it's good for you. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, go back to your high plank. Go back to your high plank. And now I want you to pull your feet in and take them out. This is your pike. In to your down dog and back out. In and out. You only got 20 seconds of this. If you're like, ha, ain't happening, girl, hold the plank. Hold the plank. And that can be done anywhere, right? Remember, walking, crawling, running, it's all moving. Doesn't matter, just do what you're able. Four, 3, 2, and 1. Stay there, stay there, stay there. Now, from here, you're gonna walk your hands back into your forward fold, squeeze belly in, grab your hand weights wherever you are, your hand weights or your cans, roll it up one vertebra at a time. Let your chin be the last to rise. So, we're gonna ditch the right towel or slide, we're gonna keep the left one. Right foot is coming onto the mat. Give yourself space to move forward and back. Squeezing belly in with the high heel position. So think about if you had your club days, you got on your highest club heel, okay? And if not, just, you know what that means. All right, squeeze belly in, pull up on pelvic floor, Starbucks muscles are engaged. We slowly come down into a lunge. And we drive it back up to standing. So, as you come into this lunge, you want to make sure that your knee and your ankle are in one line. So they're not jutting, your knee's not jutting forward towards your toes. How low do I go down, NK? As low as you're able while keeping your good form. If that means you're just here and back up, cool, no problem. Remember, you can use towels, wax paper, paper plate, any of those things will work. Fuzzy socks. Now, you got these hand weights, these cans in. We're gonna reach open into a cross position. So if I'm facing this way, look like a little Christ Redeemer every time you come down, right? And bring it back up. Beautiful. Squeeze that belly in, pull up on that pelvic floor. Next time you come down, hold, flip your palms, bicep curls. So we're gonna keep these elbows in alignment with the shoulders. It's gonna give me more work on those biceps, but if you need a little less, draw your elbows into your wrists. Chelsea, pull that knee back just a little bit more above your ankle. So not that back leg, but that front right leg, pull that knee back. Yes, well, yep, no, oh, that was good, yep. Go where you just went, step forward a little more. Make that stance wider, even wider, I know. Does that mean you don't sit down as well? That's okay. Yes, beautiful, beautiful. Yep, 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 you got it. We're here for another 10. Can you sit down a little lower for those last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So there we were working our quad, we're working our glute. Your worker B was that front leg, not the back leg. But you're gonna feel that as well as you pull in. So if you've never been on a reformer on a Pilates before, these are the same muscle groups that you're working in the same way, right? This is how we work on a reformer. Now, we're gonna move out. So we're gonna take this laterally. Make sure you have space. Knee on this right foot stays stacked over the ankle. We're gonna sit the butt back just like we did in that lunge, but now the leg's going to the side. Drive up to standing. So you're still getting that glute work on that right cheek, that left cheek, but now this working leg that's moving out and in, as it moves out and in, your adductor inner thigh muscle is also going to be activated. Now as we move through this, we're gonna take some more bicep work. Call this serving tray. You're gonna bring your elbows into your ribs, and then you're gonna reach out, tap back in, reach out, tap back in. So you want to imagine you have your most beautiful tray of coffee or cocktails, whatever inspires you most, and you don't want to lose it. So you don't want to drop out this way, you don't want to throw it over your head, you want a nice straight movement forward and back. Check these knees. Wherever you are, as you listen to me, again, remember, make sure that knee is stacked over the ankle, so check your body wherever you are, especially if I can't see you. Super important. Yes, this looks great. Sit back into this. Make sure that knee is staying over the ankle the whole time. It doesn't matter how far you go out. What matters is how you get there, right? It doesn't matter how quickly you go, how fast you process in your basement. What matters is that you continue to stay persistent and you do it with integrity, honoring yourself, your mind, your body, and spirit, and that of each and every human around you. Same thing. How we show up in the mat is how we show up in the world, y'all. All right, 10 seconds and we're gonna hold this out. 5 right here. 2 and 1. Hold this out. You have this tray out. Now we're gonna drop it. We drank all the drinks, we're gonna drop it. Then give me more, please. Drop it. More, please. Right here. Keep sitting that butt back. Watch that knee. The hand weights become too much. Guess what? You ditch them. But you don't give up. Move without them. Find something that works for you and work it. We're here for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Draw that in. Second verse, same as the first. So, now we're going to bring that disc under the opposite foot. You can step it onto your mat. I'll move mine this way so y'all can see me. But I want you to pay attention to this front knee, okay? So before you go anywhere, stack that knee over that ankle, squeeze belly in, square your hips off to the wall or whatever's right in front of you. Squeeze those ribs in, pull them up, check in with your Starbucks muscles, zip them up, and then slowly start to come down as much as you're able without this knee coming forward even a millimeter. Watch this back leg, make sure you're pulling up on that quadricep. The more you pull up on your quadricep, the more space for your hamstring to elongate, and then drive back up. Again, it doesn't matter how low you go, it matters how you get there. And you may notice that this side is vastly different than your other side. That's okay. All right, this time we hit those shoulders. Goalpost to touchdown. Bring those elbows here to a 90. Then as you reach out, they come into that touchdown position. All right? And remember, you're doing what you're able, breathing, and continually differentiating between needing to stop because it's sharp pain and it's bad for you, and wanting to stop because it's uncomfortable, because it's confronting, because it's not cozy. And how you respond mentally, what you tell yourself when each of these things arise for you. Keep moving, let's see it. Watch this front knee. Watch that back leg, make sure it's nice and straight. We're gonna keep it down there in 5, 4, 3, 2, stay down in that lunge. Give me those touchdown, or excuse me, those goalpost arms, so bring your arms back into that cactus. Tap your elbows, open it up. Tap your elbows, open it up. Tap your elbows, open it up. Stay low into this lunge. Can you sit down a little lower? Oh, there's the truth, right? This is when we can dig into another box. This is when we can get a little deeper than we thought we could. We're so much stronger than we give ourselves credit for, y'all. We're here for another 5, 4, 3, check in with those Starbucks muscles, 2, and bring it up. Just rotating forward, squeezing belly in, same game. Knee stays over the ankle. We reach that butt back and that leg out into this skater. If you've ever been on a reformer before, I want you to imagine right now your foot is on that front platform. The standing foot and the moving foot is on the carriage, the part that moves. You've never been on one, and you're like, what the hell is that? I'm curious now. Well, as soon as they open the world back up, you can come and join me on one, okay? But right now, get the idea. You can feel how this feels completely different than just a regular lunge, right? You're using your small connecting slow twitch muscles to move this disc, this paper, whatever it is that you have in and out, which calls on your muscles in a different way. All right, so from here, we're gonna take this into a tricep extension. So we come down and up. Arms are above the head, elbows are forward, ribs are in, pelvic floors are engaged. Sit that butt back and then down. Again, I don't care if you only go down this far. What matters is that as you come down, you're sending those yum-yums back, yeah? Keep breathing, keep fighting wherever you are, y'all. You got this. You're sweating, it's hard, and you're shaking. Woohoo! That's the point. You're shaking, you're shivering. I want you to smile. That's what you're here to do. Get full muscle fatigue so that it can change. And it ain't cozy to change. Ooh, but damn it, it's worth it. We hold it low in 5 right here. 3 and 2. Hold it low. Squeeze belly in. Keep those arms moving. So we're just gonna keep on with those triceps. Keep it going. Bring those elbows forward to face the camera. So make them skinnier. There you go, nice. This looks great, Monique, stay with it. Y'all are killing this. Stay with it. Keep fighting, keep breathing, keep squeezing. Check in with these Starbucks muscles. Stay low into this lunge, lower than you'd like to. Make sure this one is extended laterally, Chelsea. So, like, what the heck does that mean? Turn and face your couch or whatever that blue thing is. Turn your whole body and face it. There you go, and reach that leg. Not behind you, but, oh, yes, yes, yes. Out beside you, there you go. Yeah, that's where we are. Last 5, same with you, Monique. Make sure your leg is out laterally. So we slid out to the side, so to your right. There you go. 3 and 2 and 1. Slowly bring that back in. Beautiful work. All right, from here, we're gonna lose the disc and the cans or the hand weights, whatever it is you have. Everybody open your mat back up. And we're just gonna lay down. There's no cute, sexy transition. Usually I like to do lots of transitions or whatever. Today we're getting it in piece by piece. All right, so from here, I want you to bring your feet hips width distance apart. So see where your hip sockets are, and then bring your heels just in front of them. And then your knees will follow suit. Squeezing belly in. I want you to bring your hands to either side of your knees. So facing forward, that would look like this. And then I want you to keep your hands steady. Activate your biceps and push your knees against your palms. This is a nice hip reset. Check in with the Mula Bandha, check in with your pelvic floor, your Starbucks muscles, make sure they're zipped up. Lift up out of the waist, and just keep opening your knees into your palms. So you feel the activation from your hips, your abductors, your outer thighs, and then you feel the activation of your biceps, keeping your knees in place. You have another 5 seconds here. Just keep breathing through that. And 1. I want you to use the heat to work to open it up and reset your hips as much as possible. Stress, pain, anxiety, it all sits right there in those hips, yeah? So bring those feet back where they were. Don't move your legs. Squeezing belly in. We're going to reach our hands forward, and then we're going to balance on our sits bones. Now that might look like this. It may look like this. It may look like this. It may look like this. It can look like this. It can even look like this. Heels are up, toes are down. Okay, so find what works for you and work it. And in this, I want you to pull your heart center towards your upper thighs. I want you to breathe. I want you to feel your sits bones in the earth. I want you to feel your strong core keeping you up. And I want you to feel the support of Mother Earth as you fight to balance. Breathing here. If your feet are in the air, slowly bring them back down onto the earth. And 1 vertebra at a time, waistband first is going to come onto the earth. Lower back, middle back, finally upper back. Extend those legs out long. Breathing here. I want you to inhale, bring those arms up into the sky. And then as you exhale, bring that right hand back onto the chest, left hand onto your belly button, lower belly area. And I want you to breathe. And I want you to get right down back into that basement. Right. Just have a look. There's no right or wrong answer. Maybe it's like, I still didn't get into the basement today, NK. I could get halfway down the stairs and that was about it. That's okay too. The stairs ain't going nowhere. Every day that you have a breath in this body, you have another opportunity to walk down there and do the work. And whatever that thing is that you've been standing with, get to wherever you are, whether it's with the thing or on a stair, looking at the door that you're not ready to open yet. I want you to stand up. I want you to acknowledge it. Send it light and love, whatever it is. And for what is moved out, we honor it. For the work that's still left to do, tell it I'll see you again later. I'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. In my body. Slowly starting to walk back up to the up those stairs. Breath stays deep. As the mind starts to slowly walk out of that space of work and into a space of rest. Inhaling, feeling the belly rise. Exhale, belly fall. Slowly removing those hands from the heart. Bring them down to the sides. Take a moment to wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll out your ankles, roll out your wrists. Then we're going to bring these knees into the chest. And we're going to roll like a ball 3 times, the third bringing us into a nice, easy seat to Sukhasana position that we started in. So all the way up. So I just want you to roll that spine out. This is really, usually the ball roll is about the core, but this I want just to be about opening up the spine. On your third, sit it up, spin it around. Finding those sits bones in the same space you started in. Shutting your eyes down if that feels safe for you. And seeing how you feel now in comparison to when your butt first hit that mat. Excuse me, that came up. Taking a moment to honor yourself, to acknowledge yourself for showing up when you could have had a million excuses to not. To face your pain, your heartache, your fear, your embarrassment, your shame, and just sitting with it. Because remember, in order to do in this world, you must first be. So continue to have the bravery to be with yourself, to do the work, to ask the hard questions, to be embarrassed to not get it right. Your educators, you know, you're not ever going to get it all right, but you're mad to make your students stand up and ask the questions. It's the only way they're going to learn. And that's the only way we're going to learn. One breath, one moment, one movement at a time. Paso a paso, poco a poco. Little by little, step by step. Let's take a nice deep inhalation, floating those hands up, feeling all that space around you. That light right above that head. As you exhale, push away anything that no longer serves you. Let it all go. Clear it out of your basement. We keep things because they work for us, and we put them away when we don't know where to put them. And some we need to file and keep, and some you just don't, they don't fit anymore, right? And that's okay. We inhale, we take another breath forward of acceptance, of love, of gratitude, of peace, and we put it right there above that head. As we exhale, we move away anything that's getting in the way of that love, that power, that peace. One more collective breath. Inhale through the nose. Grab that right above that head. Bring it down between the palms, down the center line. Being mindful of your thoughts. Where the mind goes, the body follows. Your words speak life or death over situations, so be mindful of them. And finally, we plant that in the heart center. Where love goes, love grows. So lead with that heart. And we'll close with namaste, which means a lot of things in Sanskrit. Hello, goodbye, good morning, good evening. But my favorite is the light in me recognizes and respects the light in you. Namaste. You are done, my beautiful gente. I hope you feel good. I hope you were able to face some things that you needed to, or just have the bravery to move in your body and feel. If you want another injection of NK, every Sunday at 10 a.m. I teach for Pilates Pro Works West Loop online, obviously. So you can sign up for class in my link tree at All Things NK, and I am Thickletic. All of the proceeds for all of the classes this weekend are going to go to My City, My Hood. I think that's the name of the, getting that nonprofit right. I've had a lot of names in my head lately of all this stuff. So It's on there though. So all the proceeds from all of the classes taught this weekend will be going to that non-for-profit to really help to get out and mobilize. Something else that I'm doing in part of a coalition, and we work to stand in, we've been giving, for the past 8 weeks, we've been delivering food to Chicagoans in need. We've done over 75,000 pounds of food in 8 weeks. We serve 600 families every week. And so we finished up last week with that, and now we're moving our coalition over to holding space for action. So whoever's out doing protests and marches, I'm a trained street medic, so I'm going to be doing trainings for civilians to go out and be there observers if they need to step in to help in any way. So if you want to get trained on that, that will also be coming up in Sunday through Thursday. So I'll be training on that. We're also going to be training on a Know Your Rights. And then we're going to be working to bring out voter registration to the protest so that we can get registration to vote. The other thing we're going to be doing is really breaking down very simply for the babies as they vote, and everybody, not just babies, everybody should get educated on each and every one of people in power and position and elected officials, what they do specifically and how it directly impacts you. So doing that and pushing that out onto the Instagrams and all the other things that the babies watch, because that's where they get their news. And finally, the thing that we're going to be doing is getting creatives together to be there capturing the cause. So the narrative on TV is much different than the narrative when you're actually in the space and seeing what's happening, and that's also systematic racism. So getting especially Black creatives out to capture the cause when these protests and demonstrations are going on, to hear what's being said, to see what kind of, these Black stories that are being told. These days, there's gonna be one of the founder of our coalition is Native, and they're gonna be bringing some people and she's from Standing Rock, and that she occupied that space for 9 months when it was, she grew up there, but also led the forefront of that, and she's the one who is leading this for us. And we're leading it as the Black women in that space, but for her to understand how to organize. And we're like, you are expert in that space, and we let you do that. And so she's incredible, but she's going to also be activating some of the Native American tribes to come down and to be doing some dances and different footwork and things in these demonstrations, and just so that we can be filled up, because these demonstrations are about power and peace and change, right? So with that, Chicago creatives coming out and capturing that so that we can put that together and push that out so that we can really get a true narrative of what's happening right now. Any of those sound of interest to you and you'd like to be involved in any of those ways, you can reach out to me on all things NK. And Save Money, Save Life is the name of the complete organization that we're working with. I have a 501c3, Thick Leads Give Back. And so our goal, what we do is we step into marginalized communities and work to see what it is they need and how we can be of service. So all of those things are happening. With that being said, we're needing 350 kits for our street medics. So we're raising money to do that as well. You can go to my link and see where you can donate there. And that money will all go back to the coalition. And that's on my All Things NK and I Am Thickletic page as well on Instagram. So again, thank you so much, ladies, for all your time, your talent. I appreciate you. Keep doing your work. Keep teaching, keep serving, keep doing, keep beating. Thank you.
Thank you, NK.
Thank you. Take care.
For attending today. We will have the recording and any resources. NK shared a bunch of resources during the course of today's session, which was wonderful. And we'll have all of those, and the recording will be available on our website. You'll also receive an email on Monday from me with a direct link to that part of our website, and then also just a quick survey about today's experience. So we wish you a wonderful Friday and a happy, safe, soulful, self-care filled weekend. Let us know if you need anything, and if you have any ideas for future chats, we're always all ears about that. So thanks so much, and hope to see you all again soon. Bye-bye.